Today is 28th of August. Market trade on narrow range bars, generally listless, up 8.4253, and this is quite evident from the low volume. Now, after the strong rally, market has been consolidating, mapping a very distinct ascending triangle. I would like to actually see take out this immediate resistance here of 4274 and eventually take out this high here of 4282. Our immediate support is actually at this pivot low here of 4181. This is a chart of Nasdaq's daily charts. After this wide range bar, we see the index actually inching up slightly. I'd like to see eventually take out this resistance here. Now, if you take a look at the S&P 500, it managed to actually make a new all-time high. Quite similarly to Nasdaq, after this wide range bar, it will be actually inching upwards. What is important is to look for a catalyst to really trigger a big move. So very much depends on what happens to the US trade policy as well as Federal Reserve decisions, particular interest rate cut. Now let's turn back our attentions to the local markets. First, Centurions, very distinct consolidations, and 3 days ago we have a breakout followed by a classic pullback. I'd like to see take out this high here of 187. So many of the small cap stocks have actually experiencing fatigue and they are consolidating, so patience is required. This is Penn United's one of the few stocks that are actually holding very well. This is currently a big dipper setup. Two-bar callback high is at 121. In fact, there was a momentary break today. I'd like to see a follow through and take out this high here of 124. Now we need to see a distinct increase in volume on the breakout. Hong Leong Asia, one of the strongest stocks. Now today, or rather yesterday, the stock actually trade ex-div. Today it trade an inside day. I'd like to look for eventual break above the high of 264. Notice the huge daylight, so it's best that actually the stock trade sideways, close up the daylights. Now with big daylights, it's actually prone to retracement, so any breakouts, it could be quite tricky. So it's preferred that the stock trade sideways, form a base and look for a break on the upside. LHN, so this is one of the stocks I mentioned that is actually consolidating after the strong run. So you notice the crisscrossing of the moving averages. So patience is required for it to complete its consolidation and eventually look for a break. Same for LKP. You've been trading sideways for a couple of weeks, so you'll probably take some time before you take out this high here of 109. Likewise for CSE Global, experiencing actually very wild swing. I'd like to see eventually take out this high here of 71 cents. Namcheong actually has a very strong run-ups, about equally deep retracements. The only consolation is that actually retrace on a lower volume. At this point in time here, we have a big dipper set up to buck out back high here is 755. Now we are riding on the momentum here because if you take a look at the moving average itself, the two moving averages is essentially converging. Now this usually happens after a sideways move. Soy build. This is the year-to-date best performing stocks. Again, it is over standards. At this point in time here, we have a small dipper setup. Bar high here is at 245. Again, we will prefer the stocks to trade sideways, close out the daylight. Mentioned there were 3 stocks that actually break out from a consolidations. That include for the Empire. So this is a rising wedge, a very nice break, and right now it is consolidating. I'd like to see complete its consolidation and take out this high here of 250. Here we have a very nice ascending triangle and actually broke out on high volume, and right now notice that actually there were a couple of huge swing. At this point in time here, we have a small depot setup. Bar high is at 76 cents. Oitech, very nice consolidation breakout. Now what happened was during this period itself, we see actually the stock actually weakened quite significantly, particularly after a good news. The stock actually gap up, but it closed extremely poor on very high volume. And over the next few sessions, it traded a series of narrow range bar and hugging near the lower end of this bar here. And today it actually make a low. And of course today is actually you go X diff, but it's actually 0.005. But the drop is actually more significant. Notice it's actually on increased volume. So I'd like to watch the next few days. If we continue to move downwards, then the bet is actually off for the stocks.